In today's tutorial we are going to do the Texture Panels Afghan, and this is made up of two different types of panels sewn together and creating a really cool look. Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd as well as Yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today we're going to work on the Texture Panels Afghan. This is the Afghan that this model is wearing, and it's consisting of two different types of panels. We have a really wide panel and then we have a thin stripe panel, and there are two different types. So we have a shell stitch panel and a lark's foot track panel, and this is not as hard as it looks, and we're going to do a third panel. And I have found myself with doing the shell stitch panel that it's kind of difficult to do the puff stitches, so I came up with an alternative panel that I will share in today's tutorial, and it will be available on the crochetcrowd.com as an option if you would like to switch out the main panel for something that's a bit easier to manage. So without further ado, let's just cover the yarn, the hook, and what we need to do to get started. So we're going to need a 5mm size H crochet hook today. It calls for Patons Canadiana. You could use Caron Simply Soft if you wish, maybe even Bernat Super Value, Caron 1 pound, it's up to you. So we have two different types of panels, and we have the stitch diagrams that are available to you, that are available in the more information link of this video if you'd like to access this. Now these puff stitches are a little bit tough to manage. I find with doing puff stitches that my work likes to get really tangled with itself, so I came up with an alternative one that is a lot easier to manage for me, and this is what it looks like here. So this is what I've come up with, and this will be available on the crochetcrowd.com if you wish to follow this one instead. So here's sample number one. It's called the Lark's Foot Track Panel, and it has 3 lark's feet strips just like you see here, and it's really quite an easy pattern to be able to master. This is as wide as the strip gets, so this is exactly what you see, and we're going to start this one next. So grabbing your 5mm size H crochet hook today, let's grab our yarn and get started. Let's begin with a slip knot, and we're going to chain 21. So let's put this in. So just yarn over and do 21. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So we now have 22 or 21. This is what we need, and let's get started with row number 1. Okay, for row number 1 we come to the 4th chain from the hook. So coming back, counting back 1, 2, 3, go to the 4th, and you want to double crochet. Just turn it over and get the back loop of the chain only, and you want to do that one, plus you want to do the next 4 that are available to you. So the next 4 chains will all be double crochet. So for the outside edges of the lark's foot there should be a total of what appears to be 6 double crochets, and that'll be on both sides of the edges, so it'll be on the other side as well. So you want to have a look. So the chaining of 3 counts as a double crochet plus the next 5, so you have a total of 6. We're now going to chain 1, skip 1 chain, and then double crochet into the next 5 chains. So just coming into the next 5. So this is the middle lark's foot of the 3 is in 5. So the lark's foot really is only 5 stitches wide. It's just we have an extra stitch on both sides of the panel in order to do our turns and to have a nice edge. So that was 4 and 5. Then you're going to chain 1, skip 1 chain, and then double crochet into the 6 remaining chains. And that makes sense because you have 6 double crochets on the other side that you started with. So this is kind of like the base foundation of getting started with the lark's foot. You need it in order to get started, and every other row is the same. It's just a matter of getting started from that point. So let's move on. Just finish this and move on to row number 2. So what it should appear at this point is it looks like this. So you have 6 here, 5 there, and then 6 double crochets there. Let's turn our work and go to row number 2. So turning our work, row number 2 is identical all the way throughout your project. Okay, we're going to chain 1, and we put 1 single crochet in each of the double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then you're going to feel under your fingers there was a chain space. You chain 1 and then skip to and go to the next double crochet available to you. So this gapping space, you're maintaining this gapping space here, which gives you the strips. So just double crochet in each of the double crochet, or sorry, single crochet in each of the double crochets as you go. Okay, so there will be 5 right in the middle. Chain 1 because here's another gap, and then single crochet into the final 6 double crochet. So every other row will be exactly identical to this. So row number 3, the next one, make sure you get into your final turning chain as well, the top one. That'll be your 6th one. So let's turn our work. This is what it looks like at this point. Okay, so now we're going to start the repeat pattern of doing the lark's foot track itself. Okay, so we're now going to create the lark's feet, and the lark's feet rest about on the middle one. So you see how there's groups of 5? The one in the middle is where things are gonna work into. The ones in the end, don't count this one that's on the very end. Just look to the 5, and the middle one of the 5 is the one we're gonna play with. Same with the other side. Okay, there's 6 here. Don't count the outside one. It's the middle one of the 5 remaining. So we're going to create what is called the right post stitch and as well as left post stitch within this in order to create the look. So we're gonna start off always is chaining a 3, and we're going to do a right post stitch. So how you do this is that you have to start off and you have to wrap your hook first and going into the next stitch. Okay, yarn over, pull through 2 and hold. Okay, don't go anywhere. We're going to now then go to the middle one of the post down here. So we wrap the hook first. Okay, it's a treble, and we go to the middle one of the group of 5. Do not count this first one. Go in behind the post, back out the other side, pull through 2 and 2. So now this stitch and this are linked. Yarn over, pull through all 3, and so those 2 just became together, and now you're going to double crochet the next remaining stitches in behind this with just a double crochet. So 1, 2 and 3. So the final stitch here before jumping the gap is going to be a left post. So we have to start it differently from the right post. So this time we have to treble. So we wrap going around the same post where the other one was. Yarn over, pull through 2 and 2. Okay, do not finish that stitch, and then yarn over and double crochet into the remaining single crochet that was available to you, and then just pull through. Okay, so let's review this again. We're gonna chain 1 to jump over the gap, and we're gonna start the next one. So it's gonna be a right post stitch. So yarn over into the next stitch, pull through 2 and hold. We're now gonna come to the middle one, so treble, come into the middle post, back out, pull through 2 and 2. Okay, you now have your 3 on here. We're gonna yarn over, link them together, and the next 3 stitches are all gonna be just double crochets. So it's kind of like the background of the track. Now the next one is a left. Okay, so we wrap the hook twice first, coming into the same post, yarn over, pull through 2 and 2 and hold it, do not finish it, and then coming into the final single crochet that was available to you there. Okay, and just finish it. So chain 1, so let's speed up. So we're gonna come into the first one. Okay, we don't finish it. We're doing the right post, pull through 2 and 2, hold, you got all 3, link it, so yarn over, pull through, double crochet into the remaining to the next 3, sorry. Okay, and now we're gonna do a left post. So wrap, going into the post, pull through 2 and 2 and hold it. Okay, double crochet into the next one. Okay, and then pull through. Okay, so the very final stitch is just gonna be simply a double crochet. So there's your nice edge. Okay, so you can see exactly what's happening here. So we're gonna turn our work around, chain 1, and this is row number 2 all over again. So single crochet in each one of the stitches that are available to you. There will be 6 on the outsides and 5 on the middle one. Okay, once you get to the gap, chain 1, jump over, and begin single crochet across. There'll be 5 there. Okay, chain 1, and the last 6 are just single crochets, and I will review the lark's foot track again, which is exactly what I just taught you, but we will go through it one more time. So turning our work, okay, we're gonna do our lark's foot track again. So chain 3 to start, and now we're going to do the lark's foot. So we're gonna just yarn over, going into the first one, pull through 2 and hold, but do not finish it. Wrap twice, going into the middle post down here, pull through 2 and 2 and hold. You have all 3, yarn over, pull through all 3. You're going to double crochet the next 3 stitches you have in the background, and then you're going to do a left post stitch. So wrapping the hook twice first, coming into the same stitch, pull through 2 and 2, and then do the final one here for the double crochet. Chain 1, okay, go to the next one. So we start off, but we do not finish that stitch. We go and do the lark's foot track, pull through, double crochet the next 3 in behind, and then do the next track. This is the left post. Okay, chain 1 because you're jumping over, and then do the final edge. See, it's a pretty simple concept, just a matter of just changing your way that you think about stitches and how the two work together to create the lark's foot. And then of course on the very end there will be a double crochet. So that would be how you would create the lark's foot track, just like you see here. We have another tutorial on this same particular stitch as well, but this is part of the Texture Panels Afghan. So the other side will look completely flat, just like so, and the front side will have all the texture that's all nice and yummy. So let's move along to the next panel in this particular tutorial. So the next panel is called the shell stitch panel, and it's consisting of half double crochet clusters, and the clusters are really quite I always find my hook gets caught on them. I'm not really a fan of clusters, so I came up with an alternative, which is the third option for you. But for those that really want this, I'm gonna show you how to do this, and then you can decide to do that or do the alternative, whatever suits your fancy. So let's move along and do the shell stitch panel. So grabbing the same size hook, 5mm size H, and we are going to do a slip knot. And in this case we have to chain 50 this time, so it's a bigger panel than the lark's foot. So just 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Go all the way to 50 for me and meet me back here in just a moment. Okay, now I have my 50 on the hook, and now I want to start and go back and do row number 1. So going back across the chain. So I want to go second chain from the hook, and I want to turn it and just get the back loop only of the chain in single crochet. So let me show you how to do a cluster. So you're gonna go to the 4th available, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you're going to yarn over and you're going to put it in, yarn over and pull through, and you want to do that a total of 3 times. So yarning over into the same stitch, pull through, yarn over, same, pull through. You now have 7 loops on your hook. You need to yarn over and pull through all of it, okay, every single one of all 7, and then you need to chain 2. So 1 and 2, just like that. You need to do that a total of 3 times in your project, or in this stitch, sorry. So yarn over, same stitch, pull through, yarn over, same stitch, pull through, yarn over, same stitch, pull through. Okay, and now you're going to yarn over and pull through everything, and then chain 2. So there's chain 2s that separate them each, and there's a total of 3 clusters in one stitch. So just keep doing it. Your tension really matters on this particular idea. So now we're going to chain 1 after we've got that done, because you've got all 3, and you want to go to the 4th available stitch to you. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and single crochet there. So this is what it looks like at this moment. So now we're just gonna keep repeating this same patterning going all the way. So let's just do it one more time. So you chain one, okay, you jump to the fourth chain available to you, yarn over, in, pull through, and you do that for a total of 3 times. Once you have those 7 loops on your hook, pull through all 7, just kind of wiggle it away if it's getting stuck, and then chain 2, 1 and 2, and do it again. Okay, then yarn over and pull through all 7, and chain 2 again, and do it one more time. So you're going to notice the very first chain is gonna open up these massive loops in the beginning. That's just the nature of this particular stitch. So once you have your third one in there, chain 1, and then just skip again and go to the fourth. So 1, 2, 3 and 4, and single crochet. So please do that same idea going all the way across, and this is what it looks like. Okay, I'm coming up all the way across, and I have to then finish off, and I'm just chaining 1, and then I go into the very final stitch for my single crochet, which will be the right number of stitches I need to move over. So it's not hard, it's just, yeah. So here's what it looks like at this point, and you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different shells. So there is a repeat in this particular pattern that takes you a few rows before it repeats back to here, and let's start on row number 2. Let's turn our work and go to row number 2. So every time we start off with row number 2, we're going to do the exact same thing. So we're gonna chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, counts as a double crochet, and we're gonna double crochet into the same first stitch. Okay, so on the outsides of row number 2 there will be what appears to be 2 double crochets. You're going to chain 2, and you're gonna come to the middle one of the 3 clusters, and you're going to single crochet. So right in the top, chain 2. So chain 2 is consistent, and now in the middle here you're going to apply, in this middle single crochet between the 2, you're going to apply 3 double crochets. So 1, 2 and 3. Okay, chain 2 again, and you're going to double crochet into the top of the middle next cluster, chain 2, and the next one is in the middle between the 2 clusters. You're going 3 double crochets. So continue to go across in that same manner. Okay, just don't forget your chain 2s in between stitches. Okay, so chain 2, single crochet in the top of the next cluster, chain 2, 3 double crochets in between in the single crochet. Please do that all the way across. So I'm coming up near to the end. I'm single crocheting the top of the last cluster. I chain 2, and then it's only going to be 2 double crochets into the final single crochet. Okay, so we only did the 3 double crochets in the bottom areas when it was in the middle, but on the edges there will only be 2, just like we started. So that was row number 2. Let's move along to row number 3. Okay, let's turn our work and go to row number 3. So row number 3 starts off with chaining of 2. It doesn't count as anything, it's more of a builder stitch than anything, so don't think it's a stitch because it's not. We're going to half double crochet into the very first stitch. Okay, half double crochet in there, and then chain 2. So what we're doing is that we're creating the clusters once again, but it's how we start it has to make a difference. So we have to apply 1 cluster into the same stitch before we can move on. So we're just again just wrapping that hook, doing it 3 times. Okay, and then pulling it through all 7. Just like that, and then chain 1. And now here's what we need to do in the middle right here. So we need to put a single crochet into the next single crochet that's available to you. And what we're doing is that these clusters that we're doing now are opposite to each other, so they're not on top of each other, so they're shifting over just like this. So we're going to do what you already know. So you're gonna chain 1, and we're gonna cluster in the middle of the 3 double crochets, and you're gonna do that same cluster shell like you already know. So there'll be 3 of them. So you just did 1, chain 2, and then do it again. Okay, chain 2 because that's 2 of the 3. Do it again. that, chain 1, and then single crochet into the next single crochet that's available to you. Okay, so do you see how the clusters are moving over? So let's do it again. So chain 1, look to the middle one of the 3 double crochets and do your clusters. Okay, chain 2, so you're chaining 2 in between. The chaining of 2 allows it to open up. Okay, chain 2 and do your final one of the 3. So I want you to do that same idea going all the way across your panel. When you get your 3 done, chain 1 and then just jump over to the next single crochet and single crochet. Please do that. And this is row number 3. So I'm finishing up row number 3 and I have to do the final half cluster, so I can't do a full thing, and remember that's kind of what we did in the very beginning anyway, so we got a half. So to do that one we chain up 1, and right in the very first one here, the first double crochet, we want to, on the top of the turning chain, we want to apply a cluster, and we're only gonna do 1 cluster. Okay, chain 2 and then 1 half double crochet into the same stitch, and then that completes off row number 3. So if you remember, we chained up 2 and then we did a half double crochet. Don't get confused with that, it only happens on the one side, and now that's number 3. So this is what it looks like at this point. Now this is actually the wrong side that I'm looking at, because this is the side that you really want to go for, because you can see the textures are really starting to jump. Let's move along to row number 4. So row number 4, okay, this is an easy one. So every other row we have clusters, and then the rows in between is more chain work and those double crochets. So row number 4 is one of those chain work. So we're gonna chain up 1 first, and we're going to apply 1 single crochet into the first half double crochet, and then chain 2. So chaining 2 is consistent. So this is in a valley. Okay, so every time there's a valley it's 3 double crochets, except for if it's a very edge, which is not existing on this particular row. Okay, chain 2, middle one of the 3 of the clusters is a single crochet, chain 2. Okay, the valley single crochet, that one is gonna get 3 half or double crochets right in that spot. Okay, do you get that? So chain 2, single in the middle one of the clusters, chain 2, here's the valley, look for the single crochet and double crochet 3 times. Please do that all the way across. This is row number 4. So I'm coming up near the edge, and this is the last valley before I hit the main side. So there's 3 double crochets there, chain 2, and there will just be 1 single crochet into the final stitch. Okay, this is the half double crochet that we started off with, and that's where you're gonna go. Okay, so we're gonna go back to row number 1 just one more time, just to show you, because this here when we started is row number 1, but it shows that as a chain. I want to show you what row number 1 looks like again, but this time there is no chain, it's actually stitch work. So let's turn our work and let's do row number 1. So this is what it looks like so far. So we're just doing a quick review on row number 1. This time there is no chain to work with here. We're going to work with exactly the stitch work that you see. So we're going to chain up 1 first, single crochet into the first one. Okay, it's just like what you did on the chain, and now we're going to look to the middle one of the 3 double crochets, and we're gonna apply those clusters. So we're gonna chain 1 and do the 3 cluster stuff right in the middle, just like that. This one's getting a little stuck on me. Chain 2 and try it again. So we're gonna do another cluster, chain 2, another cluster, okay, and now chain 1, single crochet into the next single crochet, and then repeat that again. So chain 1, okay, we're gonna do the 3 cluster spot right in the middle of the 3 double crochets, chain 2, like that, chain 2. I'm actually faster at it than I was doing the prototype. Okay, and chaining 1, and then single crochet. So continue that. This is the repeat of row number 1. You can see that the shells are now starting to line up, so these shells match these ones here. The next one will obviously be in the middle of the 2 valleys as well. So continue the same idea going all the way across. So I'm coming up to the very end and I'm just going to single crochet into the final. So I can turn my work, I can see the good side here. It looks great. It's a really great little stitch. You just have to keep repeating rows from 1 through 4. So the next row is row number 2 if you're carrying along from this point. So you just can reverse the video and then start. So you'll be starting back down here in order to repeat it again. So this is the actual panel that appears in the tutorial or in the actual pattern, but I'm going to show you an alternative panel that you can use as well that is slightly different from this, but it is a little bit easier to manage if you don't like doing clusters. So let's get on that, and that will be the final panel then for today's tutorial. So here is my particular pattern that I have here, and it's an alternative to what is already here. And what I've done is that I've taken it and I've done 3 together half double crochet or double crochets instead of doing clusters. And I do have a few corrections here, so take out these 2 here that you see crossed out. This will be available on the website as well, that it's crossed out as well. And this is a relatively easy pattern, but let me show you the difference of what it looks like, and it could change your mind. Who knows? So here is the alternative panel that I have here, and you can see that it pops out really quite nicely, and there are 3 together double crochets in order to do it. So instead of doing the 3 clusters just like so, I changed it to doing the idea of doing 3 together. So there's actually 3, and so it has a really neat look on front and back side here, and on the underside it looks like it's sunken in, and then on the overside, the good side, it looks like it's nice and popped out. But here's the difference of how it looks with each other. Okay, so it's slightly different and it depends, up to you. So I'm going to show you how to do this panel next. So let's begin with a slip knot, and you need to chain 50 just like it was the last panel. Okay, so just yarning over 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Please go all the way to 50 for me, and I'll see you back here in just a moment. Now that I have my 50 on the hook, this particular pattern is easier than the last one for being able to keep your bearings straight. So we're going to go second chain from the hook just like we did before, insert in, and we're going to single crochet. So we're changing out the clusters to be 3 together double crochets. So we want to come to the 4th available chain, so skip over 3, go to the 4th, yarn over, and going into the same stitch, yarn over and pull through 2 and hold. You want a total of 3 of those. So yarn over into the same stitch, pull through 2 and hold. Yarn over into the same stitch, pull through 2 and hold. You now have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through all 3, and that's a 3 together. Okay, and we need to do that a total of 3 times. So in between each one of these togethers there's only a chain 1, and then we do it again. So going into the same stitch, pull through 2 and hold, wrap, same stitch, pull through 2 and hold, wrap, same stitch, pull through 2 and hold. Okay, you have your 4 again, yarn over, pull through all 4, and then chain 1. Do it one more time. So in, pull through 2, hold, in, pull through 2 and hold, in, pull through 2 and hold. You got your 3 again, yarn over, pull through all 3. So once you get that done, you chain 1 and you skip to the 4th available one. So 1, 2, 3, and go to the 4th and do 1 single crochet. So the advantage to this one here is that in the last one we had chaining of 2 that separated these clusters out when they were clusters, and so then you have to remember that you got 2 there but you only have 1 here. So we changed it so that it has only 1, 1, 1, and 1 for chaining chains to keep it easy. So let's do the next one. So you're gonna chain 1 and you're gonna skip to the 4th available chain. So 1, 2, 3, go to the 4th, and we want to do a 3 together cluster. Okay, so continue to do that. So Jeannie and I were thinking about how to make this particular stitch fabulous but easier to do it without really getting our hooks snagged with the clusters. The clusters are fabulous, they're a great stitch, but if you have a tension issue it's not a great stitch to play with. So our kind of goal was to keep this stitch so that it was easier for beginners and experienced people to be able to play. So chain 1, skip to the 4th available stitch, so 1, 2, 3, and go to the 4th right there. Okay, so continue that same idea going all the way across your chain. Okay, so chain 1, skip to the 4th, do your 3 clusters or your 3 together double crochets, and then chain 1 so that you can maintain those as well. Okay, so I'm coming up all the way across. I'm just finalizing the final one here. I have to chain 1 and then I'm going to put 1 single crochet into the final stitch, which is the right count. So just like it was on the half clusters, you still end up with your 6, but they look completely different. Let's turn our work and we're going to move up to row number 2. So it does have a different look to it, and it'll be a little more interesting as well. So row number 2 always starts off the same way, and it's actually identical to what was in the cluster. So it's chaining of 3, and it's a double crochet into the same stitch. Okay, so we're going to chain 2 and we single crochet into the top of the middle 3 together. Okay, and then chain 2, and then the valley is going to have the valley of the single crochet is going to be 3 double crochets. Okay, followed by chain 2, look to the middle one of the 3 double crochets. Okay, and then chain 2, and then you're in the valley again, so there's 3 double crochets there. Please do that same thing going all the way across. Coming up all the way on row number 2 and just finishing it off, and I'm doing the middle one here of the final, and then chain 2, and then the final single crochet will have 2 double crochets in it. Okay, and that's kind of how we started on the other side. So that was row number 2. So you can see how it's kind of created a flat spot. When you look at it, it's kind of neat. Let's move along to row number 3. Let's turn our work and move to row number 3. So row number 3 always starts off the same way when you're doing row number 3. We're going to chain 2, and we're going to half double crochet into the first double crochet, followed by a chain 1, and in the same stitch we're going to do the 3 together double crochet. So this was similar to the last one of the half double crochet cluster, but it's easier to do it like that. Chain 1 and then single crochet to the next single crochet. So let's repeat this pattern. So we're going to chain 1. Now we're going to go to the middle one of the 3 double crochets, and we're going to apply those 3 double crochet togethers just like we did before. Okay, so you're going to put in your 3. So there's 1 followed by a chain 1. Do it again. Okay, followed by a chain 1, and do it one more time. I think I dropped a stitch there, and that's why I kind of pulled back out. Okay, followed by a chain 1, single crochet to the next single crochet available to you, chain 1. Okay, and then again the middle one of the 3 double crochets will be another cluster, or another one of these 3 together double crochets. So continue that same patterning going all the way across. So I'm coming up all the way across, and I'm just maintaining the pattern as I've already talked to you about. Chain 1. Now the final edge one here, we're going to do the very final. So go into the final turning chain, and we're going to do one of the 3 together cluster or double crochets. I keep getting my terms messed up, I'm sorry about that. Okay, followed by chain 1, and then half double crochet into the same stitch like so. So that was row number 3. So let's move on to row number 4, and then we have to then repeat row number 1 through all the way through 4 all over again in order to have the repeat patterning showing up on your project. Let's move along to row number 4. So row number 4 is really easy. It's again more chain work than anything. So chain 1, and you single crochet into the top of the first half double crochet, and then chain 2, and you look to the valley for the single crochet, and there will be 3 single or double crochets there. So 1, 2, and 3, followed by chain 2, and then the middle one of the 3 is going to have a double crochet, or sorry, a single crochet, followed by chain 2, and then the valley one here is 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, followed by chain 2, look to the middle one, and then put a single crochet there. Please do that same thing. So that's row number 4. So I'm finishing up row number 4. Coming up all the way across, I just followed the pattern. There's 3 double crochets in the final valley there, followed by chain 2 and then 1 single crochet into the very first stitch. So we're going to repeat back to number 1 again. Now when we did 1 before, we were working on with the chain as our start, but this time we're working with actual stitches. I'm going to show you exactly where you need to go, and then you just have to keep repeating rows number 1 through 4 for the remainder of the project. So let's turn our work and begin row number 1 all over again. To begin row number 1, you chain up 1 and 1 single crochet into the first single crochet. Okay, we're going to chain 1 and then the next one. Okay, so you see the group of 3, we've already done it before when we did the group of 3 here, is that the group of 3, the middle one will have the 3 together double crochets. Okay, so you do that, followed by chain 1, do it again, okay, followed by chain 1 and do it one more time. So remember, you just got to keep these in sets of 3. So followed by chain 1, then single crochet into the next single crochet, followed by chain 1. There's the next 3 double crochets, look to the middle one and do it in the middle. Okay, that's the 3 will be right in the middle of that one. Don't forget your chain 1s in between them. So you can really blaze along with this particular one. I think this is easier to do than the one that's in the pattern, but again, that's up to you. They both have a completely different look, but you can have that great Afghan and have a choice on what you would like to do in order to do it. So this is row number 1 all over again. When you get to the very final edge, just make sure that you are following the pattern. I will take you there in just a moment and we'll finish that off, and then you can decide what you would like to do with this tutorial. So I'm coming up all the way to the end. Okay, I'm just doing that 3 clusters right into the final section here. I still have the very final edge as well, followed by chain 1. I've got to do that 3 times, don't forget that. Okay, followed by chain 1. Okay, and final chain 1 and then just single crochet to the very first single crochet that you had. So that's how you would do this particular pattern. You can see that there's a difference here. Comes to a really nice look whether you're doing it this way in this color. This here is in the blue. You know, it's kind of a neat look generally, and you can decide what's right for you. Till next time, I'm Mikey on behalf of the Crochet Crowd as well as Yarnspirations.com. Do what's right for you, enjoy your crochet, and here is some great ideas of course, and we'll see you next time with more free patterns and ideas. We'll see ya. Bye bye.